world, they prefer more luxury goods, like point A to point B. They prefer that. So what is the things is people want to buy more sustainable products, right? The second is cost analysis. As we can see in the real world, adhering to the concepts of sustainability means that brands need to spend more cost to manufacture and design. The cost of materials and design used in fast-moving fashion is often very low. But think about it from another angle. Do fast fashion brands spend more on storage and transportation costs? It's not true, right? Like I said the example before, there is the H&M need to pay for one whole floor to storage old products. It is a big cost, right? So producer costs are transferred to consumers' purchasing costs. And when sustainable brands follow its model of using sustainable materials and designing regularly, the costs are spread over the long term. The one-time manufacturing of fast fashion brands cannot last for a long time, so their costs are shorter than the sustainable brand cycle. It's more like another aspects. I have said that they need to cost some other things for the fast fashion brands because like the storage or transportation, they need to transport so much more products one time. I just want to share you that they also need to cost, just not for the materials or the labor. But there is another aspect about cost analysis is the cost for long run. These two brands is not new brands. These two brands actually exist for a long time. So when I actually compare these two of them, I can say if the sustainable brands have more quality, they have their own mode of design. They have the stable product line, manufacturing line. Like, the style of their clothes is similar because they need to follow its unique style. So the product line, manufacturing line is a little similar. That means they can always use the one line to not change so much. The material, when they find good materials, find good producers, they can just always use it. And the good designer, they can always use it. So they do not need to change every time. They can just find good points on the long run. I will show you later the graph. And they do not need to change. Change means unsure, And the one-time manufacturing, like the short fashion brands, like I said, they need to make products universal. They need to always find good design, maybe others similar to others design, but they need to, I don't mean to copy it, but you actually need to find some good ideas always. And you need to, sometimes you want to create some sports clothes, sometimes you want some fancy clothes and the product line is not same, and so each time you want more new products here, you need to a little change in your product line. So the design is not stable, the product line is not stable, even though the cost is not stable because they do not always use one material, right? They just use low-cost material, it doesn't mean that they have always focused on one materials like the sustainable ones. They have many choices. So it feels unsure. When it feels unsure, that means to this graph. I can say there is too much more short run. So we don't know which they are focused on. That means that the fast fashion brands continues to mass produce and design universal clothes, and the production cost of a branch may be changed before it reaches a long-term minimum. Therefore, in the long run, the low-cost characters that fast fashion brands have always had cannot overcome all shortcomings. It's not perfect. Like this graph, similar to our lecture, we can say if the sustainable brands trying to find the long run, they have very stable, they can try their best to reach the lowest point, the cost points in the long run. But for the short run, like the fast fashion brands, maybe sometimes they follow this. Maybe one product line is have higher cost, but maybe something is this lower than the sustainable brands, but it's not stable, right? It's not stable. Maybe the lowest brand is here, but maybe it could not ever reach it. Yeah, it could never be negative, but it could be changed to 0. It's just showing you. So it's not easy to reach the lowest point, and it could not easy to always lower than the long run, because short run sometimes always higher than the long run. So like I said, this is sustainable brands have long run, but imagine that they do not have good labor control for the fast fashion. Maybe sometimes they are here. When change the products, maybe it's here, maybe it's higher. It's just change. It may not reach its own long run lowest point. So it's not safe, actually. And for the third point of view is the choice of the times. As global environmental issues becomes increasingly severe, people are more concerned about the impacts of their decisions, like what I do to influence the environment, to hurt the human beings. There is no doubt that choosing sustainable fashion brands is a more correct choice in the face of the major issue of human survival. Money seems not so important. Economics is ultimately about human development, not just monetary choices. We need to remember that what we want is to have better worlds, not just save money. Much as we can. So yeah. So that's what I want to share today. I really want to, after listening my presentation, I really want you to know that why I choose sustainable fashion brands and why. It's more important. It is why, and how it could be better to our human beings. Thank you so much.